Hello, welcome everyone around the world. Welcome to the Trans Nation Formula One World Championship, round 4 of the F3 category here at Monaco for what is going to be an interesting state of play. I'm Brett Keenan, and joined in commentary is Matthew Plevey. And Matt, we saw quite an interesting race in Spain last weekend. Of course, we also had France a couple of weekends ago. Several different winners in each category class. We come to Monaco, which is the concrete canyon. It's the track, the prize jewel. Every track, every driver wants to win the circuit. We're just waiting for all the drivers to ready themselves up so we can get underway. Who do you think, out of all these drivers, F1, F2, and even the F3, who do you think is going to take it out?
Yeah, I'm liking Table Clan for the win, but it should be a good race, good mix of like drivers from all three categories really. So it's kind of going to be more of a multi-tiered race this one, I think. So it should be interesting. Um, yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens. So yeah, pretty decent sized
So we
field
have
as well.
15 drivers all, 15 drivings all in all, which is so far the biggest number that we've had for F3. Of course, we only have 5 actual F3 drivers in it, so the rest are F2 and F1. A lot of the names you would have seen primarily through, a lot of these drivers ended up from F3 and they've all moved up to their respective areas. So you've got the likes of Bouget or Billy Booth, and all that, all got that started in F3, moved pretty quickly into F2 to kind of fill the vacant slots by some of our somewhat less committed drivers. So 18 minutes now comes down on the clock, and we begin qualifying for what is
Looks
going to be
like
an interesting.
overcast conditions, Brett, for
Mm.
qualifying it.
And I just actually noticed that Jules Vanderbrug's actually managed to come in, making it 16 cars on the grid for today's qualifying session. So overcast
Wow.
conditions should play right into the hands of tyre management. So throw tyre management out the window now. So it's going to be pretty much a battle of who can survive the longest here. Now, this time last season in the F1, F2, well, F1 GP2 and GP3, we saw quite an interesting foray of battles. Robert Zwannikin making one of the most brilliant overtakes of the season through Casino, going up the inside of Owen Bennett to make the move there. And then GP3, we had quite a controversial battle there with Mason Ward and a few others that no longer take part in the championship. So Monaco, how would you describe Monaco, Matt?
Uh,
And keep it PG for the sake of it.
in a word, unforgiving. There's no room for error on this track. Like, you basically have to be perfect or close to perfect every lap around here. If you brake too early, you're going to be too slow, and if you brake too late, you're going to be in the barrier. So it is the track where you need to be on it every lap.
So we're just trying to figure out who's going to be on the first lap, and I actually think it might be Jules Vanderbrug. I think, no, actually, one of the McLarens has managed to get past him, and that is Genia Bondarenko. So Genia Bondarenko is going to set the standard for everyone first out, and he's definitely just using this lap to find his rhythm, try and find where he needs to be aggressive, where he needs to be conservative. It's going to be interesting. So what we're actually going to do, if you can do us the honours of jumping onto the TV pod camera, and we'll do a virtual lap around Monaco. So heading into
With Jenny
turn one, yep, so coming
yeah.
into turn one, he's just narrowly off the curb there. I'm supposing he's just trying to keep the car as active as possible without going into the wall. Through Casino, very cautious. This is actually a very cautious lap from the Ukrainian. A few things, and Sebastian just on the shot there might have just put Genia just a little bit out of sync there, heading into the hairpin, coming through out of the hairpin into the tunnel section. He's very cautious, but it's still pretty tidy, and he goes through Ludwig, coming through the tunnel section. This is where Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher have famously had incidents with, into the Nouvelle chicane. He's missed it completely. Yeah, and he's given it up, so now we'll move we'll carry on with it irrespective. So he's coming through into the swimming pool section. You can be so flat through here. He's definitely holding back a little bit through it. So he's not, now that he's done his lap invalidation, he'll go for another one. So, oh, someone's actually just grabbed the fence on my look there. I think that was Oliver Coleman. So here comes Jules van der Broek. He'll set a 1:11.4 on his first flying lap.
Yeah, looks like Jenny is going again, so he has enough fuel. Of course, even with the minimum 5 kilos fuel allowed in the car for qualifying, it's still enough for 2 flying laps. So if you do get the track extension even later on in the lap, then yeah, you'll have enough fuel to go again. It's just more about the tyres and what they have left. Using the
so Josh Banks has gone to the top with a 1:11.2, and he's actually gone a tenth faster than the guy predicted to win this, Daniel Vale. So he's
just
showing
Coleman Oliver around his lap. He's just coming through the Novell chicane now. Very cautious. He touches the wall. Yeah. Through the swimming pool section.
I think he might have invalidated there. You got to be, you can't be too aggressive in that swimming pool section, despite it being flat. But he's going on with it irrespective, so he might have gotten away with it. What does he set? A 1:11.4. So not too bad, given I thought he was going to get an invalidation for that lap. Yeah. Who's going to be next on the list? So we've got Melvin Stilbaki here coming through into the swimming pool section. He hasn't set a lap yet, and the other some drivers that haven't come out yet is Matthew Elliott, Michael Pollan, who makes his F3 debut this weekend, has missed a few races and has been unable to compete at the top of the field in F2. And Eduardo Roches is also, Melvin to the top with a 10.4.
What's his name? Malcolm?
Melvin. we could call him Malcolm for the sake of things, but yeah, Melvin.
Just noticing as well that Daniel Tableclan set that 1:11.2.
Let me guess, he has too on the super. I got to stop surmising the fact that people are faster than him, because he's obviously doing a different strategy. But see, to me, with Monaco's tyre degradation being not as bad as the likes of Spain or Britain, for that matter, you can do a one-stop on... one of the Mercedes has just grabbed the fence coming into the swimming pool section. It was Alex O'Connor. He's just... I don't know what the hell happened there. He just kind of just drove straight into the fence and just plucked his front wing off.
Yeah, it couldn't have been through swimming pool because he just went through the Novell chicane. But
yeah, he grabbed it just coming into the tunnel. But as I was saying, so the one stop can happen on any tyre in this track because of the way that the lack of tyre degradation. So Daniel's strategy, he is doing the one stop, but he's looking to try and go longer than everyone else. But on a track like Monaco, where it's so hard to overtake, I wouldn't be really taking that gamble unless you can put your car on pole position with those super soft tyres. Yeah. I'd probably even just bank on going on the ultras, and because even the ultras will take you to the distance where you need to, and then get on the hypers to the end. So a different strategy by Daniel, but my personal opinion, I don't think it's the one.
No, I think it's more of a banker lap that he's put in there just to get a bit of a reference for his next lap. So he has a delta. But yeah, we're just going to have Ludwig Sale, whose username is Barty. He's just coming through the last corner now to start his lap. He's got some traffic in front of him though. He's got a bit of a tank slapper on the exit.
I reckon he grabbed the rear wheel at the corner.
Super soft tyre option. There's a lot of traffic. Get out of the way.
He's gone through. Good. He's gone through most of it, but now he's got one of the Red Bulls in front of him, and that's actually Michael Pollan. So Michael's on a lap as well. So I don't think he's going to get out of the way.
He's in the wall.
Well,
no,
okay. Okay. He got out of the way, but
I don't think that actually hurt Ludwig too much. Thankfully, I think he's still going to be able to get this lap done.
Oh, he's grabbed the fence. Michael's grabbed the fence again in the same section that Alex had grabbed at the loss at his front wing. So Genia Bondarenko again goes a bit greedy through the Novel chicane. I'm not sure if that's gonna. Oh, Zords to the top with a 10-2.
Oh no, Ludwig's out! He's crashed and gone through the swimming pool. Oh, we caught that. We were riding on board with him. He just ran too wide and caught the inside barrier. And that is a qualifying over for the Swedish driver. What a shame. He's obviously one of the top contenders in the actual F3 category of those racing today. So that's
and he needed a good result too, because he sits 19 points behind the championship leader, who is in P11 right now. So Kluneberg 86 or Matthew Elliott currently leading the championship by 19 points over Ludwig coming into this race, so that's not good news for Ludwig. And now Daniel, strangely, whether he's crashed or not, I don't know, but he's given that up pretty early. So
yeah,
maybe he's handicapping himself.
Yeah,
maybe he felt that Spain was too over the top, and he's handicapping himself somewhat to be.
I think, to be fair, what he's doing, he knows he might have the pace on, well, let's say like 95% of the field. There's a few drivers there, but I think he's thinking just get a good start and then take those super softs as long as he can into the race, and then hopefully get some clean air when those in front of him pit on softer tyres, and that's when he can bang in some laps and then make his stop later in the race, which is not a bad strategy. I'm just riding on board, Brett, with Sebastian Spicer. Is about to set is out on the Hypersoft tyres, just going through the hairpin at the moment. It's looking a pretty clean lap so far.
Definitely showing a lot. Definitely loves exploring the boundaries a little bit, and that's what I love about his driving style. He's so on the ragged edge, but he can drive the car to the point where he just throws the car into the corner and kind of relies on the car to take the corner flying. See, I mean, look at that, just millimeters from the fence each and every time, and still is able to just flow the car through into the corner without throwing it into the fence. So, you know, that's what I like about Sebastian's driving now. He's going to come around the last bend. I don't know whether he got invalidated for that bit in the swimming pool. It did look a bit touch and go, but he goes to the top with a 9.6.
Yeah, it looks a very tidy lap, Brett, and of course the track is getting quicker now with some rubber. We're about halfway through this, or just over halfway through this qualifying session, so most drivers will be coming out for what will be, or they're either out now for their second last runs or are coming out for possibly their last runs. But yeah, great lap by Sebastian. First driver into the 109s for the session. I thought we'd maybe see a couple more drivers under the 110 mark. I hope we do see that.
Just
Isaac Banana has done a good lap as well, Brett. So Sebastian's teammate for this race in the Sauber, both in
only
the 109.
1/10 of a second, so 1/10 of a second difference. So Sauber dominating the front row at the moment. I just caught a glimpse of Connor Paisley, who is currently heading the F3 charge on the qualifying. Take a bit of a whack into Sander Vogt, so everyone's definitely pushing hard to try and get that lap. We've got so the best of the F2 drivers is, of course, Sebastian Spicer with Isaac behind. Then the best of the F1 Invitationals is George Vandenbroek in position 3 ahead of Melvin Stolbaka. So Daniel's going to slowly start, if this keeps up, Daniel's going to slowly start to tumble down the order, which means his strategy will become harder and harder to accomplish, because there'll be so much more traffic to deal with. And all these, yes, even though all these guys in front of him are on the Hypersofts, it's still a matter of that if he's got this pace, he's going to be stuck behind these people with very little in the way of overtaking.
Yeah. Just riding on board with Slossie currently in third place. He's on another flying lap at the moment on the Hypersoft tyres, and it's not looking too bad at the moment. I think this could be a pretty competitive time. He might be the first driver into the 108s today. Do you think we'll see that, Brett?
I would love to very much see if any of these F1 drivers can push into a 1.8, because it means
the entry to the swimming pool section think that was turn 12. So I think
Oh,
that's
and he's
gonna
grabbed
slow
it
him up.
coming out of the section as well. He hasn't done damage, but he's given it because he's hit the wall quite squarely. Comes around the last bend. He's definitely showing some true grit. Let's see, does he get into the nines? A 109 flat.
Yeah, very close. I thought early on, the earlier part of the lap looked very quick. I think had he been a bit cleaner through the swimming pool section, that would have been easily a 108.
So this is definitely showing a little bit of playing field as to the pace of the F1 drivers. Now we know that a lot of the drivers, such as John Lindbergh and Mackenzie Stewart, are capable of getting into the eights quite convincingly, but now we know that we've got some drivers that might be able to push that. And there's one driver in particular that we're going to be watching out for next week or tomorrow for the F1 race is Matthias Vicelli. Now, Matthias did an absolutely ripper job here last season in the GP2 category to command a 40-second win over his teammate Alex Little, and even though he disconnected on the last lap, his car still managed to take victory. And so keep an eye out for him. So that's the number 89 Toro Rosso Honda of Matthias Vicelli, who of course we know is going to be moving to Ferrari at the halfway point of this season. They've struck a deal with Matthias at Ferrari to swap with Nadir Ziyech, and Matthias will take over at Ferrari at the start of
It's just following Cerame on a flying lap, and it looks like he track extended through the swimming pool section and aborted that one, so he's dived into the pits. So he's still got 3 minutes left, so hopefully he's got another set of the Hypersoft to go out on. Was there anyone else out on a lap at the moment, Brett, that you can see?
we've got Connor Paisley in P10, and Connor Paisley is going to set the lap first, so he was quite good through the swimming pool section, a little bit rusty through Razkaz, kind of was really square coming into the corner. But this lap's actually quite abolished, so it's a 1:12.6, so that must have been an out lap. So let's see what Billy's got in him. No, this lap's actually quite, this must be an out lap. This lap's quite shocking actually, so he must have had a...
Oh, he's got no front wing, Brett, that's why. Connor doesn't have any front wings. I don't know,
Okay.
or on my screen anyway, I can't see any. Or maybe it's just the way the Renault is that you can't see the front wing.
Yeah, the Renault has a kind of like black paint edges around the wings, so you can see the front end plate of the yellow structure, and then the black kind of overshadows it. So it's hard to tell with the Renaults whether they've got front wing damage. Now, Connor's coming up to one of the McLarens, who I think is actually Genia Bondarenko, and Genia hasn't actually been able to set a very competitive lap time. Currently slower than Michael Pollan, who's on the ultra soft tyre. So, okay, so I don't know if you saw that one, but Michael's just decided he doesn't want to do the Noval chicane anymore, and he wants to turn it into the Noval straight. So he's gone completely through that. Now, I don't know what the he's grabbed the fence. He's gone.
Oh no.
In a wall of Razkaz, and it just propelled him straight into the fence, so he was obviously trying to get in a lap, and it's just completely backfired on him. Now, Sebastian's on a lap again. Can he pull out 0.7 of a second to displace our current pole sitter of George Vanderbrug? And George is on an out lap too, so he's obviously thinking he's got what it takes to get in the eights. He's got to be careful too. He's got a Mercedes coming right up behind him.
He goes, oh, he can't improve. Alright, this will be definitely the last chance saloon for these drivers. With just 45 seconds now remaining in this session, so 40 seconds to start a flying lap for the drivers. Just riding on board with Sebastian on a flying lap. Pretty nice through there. Swimming pool. Not too much curve. Oh, very clean. Oh,
he's grabbed the fence.
Through Rascas. Oh, he must have ABS on because there was no smoke. Oh, something ghosted. I was scared to shoot out of it.
Oh, that could have been diabolical.
Lucky I put
and
ghosting
I think
on.
that's... He's improved to 1.9.
Oh, he did improve, sorry, but he can't go to the top. Still
I
good
would have
time.
said I would have thought that the that Renault, I think it might have been Connor Paisley, maybe. I don't think it was Josh, because Josh is still in the pits. But yeah, I think Connor's car might have spooked Sebastian a little bit there,
Let's
and
see what Isaac can do.
well, yours is on another flyer. He's done it again through the swimming pool section. He's grabbed the fence again. He's locked up into Razkaz. That's going to compromise his run. Very sliding into Razkaz through the last two turns. I don't think this is going to be an 8. I don't think it's going to be an improvement. It's a 8-7! George Vanderbrug, 8-7!
Wow, fantastic lap by the Toro
I thought he'd
Rosso
thrown
man.
away through Razkaz because he got on the brakes. It pinched the front right, and he had to get on the acceleration so quickly that he just couldn't get it. Couldn't get the rear to settle. I thought that was game over, but blimey, he just pulled one out of the hat and pulled first driver and only driver to be in the 8s.
Well, I think we'll see a bit more of that tomorrow. It's I wonder if Daniel Tableclan will be regretting his decision to just do the one lap on the supers and then retire, because he's down in 9th place now. So yeah,
I think he'll be regretting that choice.
Yeah, I think he is too. I think he maybe underestimated some of the F2 drivers, and even who's ahead of him? Well, we got Alex.
Well, you got George and
Oliver,
Melvin, who are both
Billy,
in F1 too, so they've
Jeremy,
gone.
Isaac, Sebastian, and our pole sitter. So that's qualifying done for the F3 category for Monaco. So we move on to the race now. Any big surprises from that session, Brett, for you?
Well, for me, that lap of George Vanderbrug just to pull out the 1 minute 8, just looking at the last sector of the lap, it just looked so dodgy in the way he grabbed the fence again at the swimming pool section. He locked up at Razkaz, and so I would have thought I think he would have lost about half a second maybe in all of that. So we could have seen an 8-2 maybe. So he could have been very close to being pushing into the 7s, and I don't even think Mackenzie and John have been able to push into the 7s in a qualifying run. So that would have been very ominous foretelling of what would have come in F1 tomorrow if he had been able to pull out a 7.
Yeah, well, I'd be pretty shocked if we could see a 7, even in F1 tomorrow, to be honest with you. But all right, as
So
the
this is
drivers now out on their formation lap, you want to go through the TKA media starting grid for us, Brett?
Of course. So we've got George Vanderbrug, the race winner of last weekend's Spanish Grand Prix, on pole position, and he'll have Sebastian Spicer alongside him. And then it's the second of the Saubers of Isaac Murphy with Melvin Storbaka in position 4. Then Billy Booth will have Oliver Coleman, the F3 winner of the Spanish Grand Prix. Of course, he's now in F2 alongside my fellow commentator here. And then it's Josh Banks and Daniel Vale, who's actually just been disqualified from the session. Looks like he must come into contact with someone. And then he'll have Daniel will have Connor Paisley for company. Then it's Eduardo Roges with championship points, F3 championship points leader Matthew Elliott back in position 12, but effectively he is in position 2 of the F3 drivers, with Eric Silverstone in P13. Michael Poland makes his F3 debut for Red Bull in position 14, and then it's Junior Bondarenko and Ludwig Sell, who unfortunately will be very disappointed to have thrown away what could have been a pretty good qualifying for him with that mistake he made in the swimming pool section. He'll make up the rear, so they're going to start to line up now on the grid. The start is critical.
Just
when it
noticing,
comes to
Brett,
Monaco.
that all the drivers outside the top 10 have started or elected to start on the super soft tyres. So as the lights come on now, we've got 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights.
So we've got to hold.
And away we go for round 4 of the TNF3
Isaac
Championship
Murphy,
Monaco.
beautiful start.
Whoa, there's a bit of carnage there.
Fair bit of carnage there. Someone's been caught. I think Billy Booth was been the biggest
Or for the most part, clean
loser.
through turn one. I think it was Josh Banks who maybe got a bit out of shape as watch our leader Sebastian's all over. Oh, the 5 second stop go for Josh
They're
already.
actually. Oh, okay. This is interesting. All these penalties are now starting to whip up. So what do we have? We had Josh Banks with a 5 second stop go, Daniel Vale with a 5 second stop go, and Genia Bondarenko with a 5 second stop go. So a lot happening there at the
Sebastian
start.
right on the back of the Toro Rosso. Will he make a move on lap one? Oh, had to defend there.
You have to look at the situation because yours doesn't use ABS now. Someone's had a moment. Oh my goodness me! There's a huge
dear.
crash in the back here.
Oh dear. Oh, what's going on?
Massive pile up and Ghosting hasn't been turned.
Oh, this is just.
Both
no.
Force Indians are gone.
Oh no.
You forgot to turn Ghosting off.
Ghosting was definitely on. Definitely on. There was some cars ghosting, but not all of them. Oh, that's
No,
and
the speed traffic.
I'm sorry, but I can't help but laugh.
That's just. They look like one of the Renaults. I think it was Josh Banks that. It just looked like he might have been turned around by someone at that point, or something's happened there, and he's actually going to serve his 5 second stop go at the same time. So this will be.
And Alex O'Connor is behind him, waiting for him to serve the stop go, waiting to get his.
Oh yes, because his teammates out and got in front of him. So that's even. I think Alex might have been in that incident. I don't know. Well, I mean, I think he might have been
serving a penalty too. This is just disastrous for Alex. Oh, and in all that rest, Ludwig and Eduardo, both the Force India drivers have DNFs. We've lost them from this race.
Well, Eduardo. I think Eduardo thought ghosting was off, so I think he was a bit optimistic in trying to just drive through the field and just actually ended up crashing straight into his own teammates. So he's kind of done himself the dirty, and both Force Indias are out of the race now. Isaac Murphy has lost a few positions through all this. I don't know whether or not he already had lost positions in the situation. In fact, he's slowing.
Oh, as Alex gets laps coming out of the pits. Oh, no, he's contact with Sebastian! He's put him in the wall! Oh, Alex! Oh, no. That's disastrous driving, if I'm honest with you. Coming out of the pits, up the hill, and he should have just let those guys go. They're a lap ahead. The stewards will have to look at that one, I think.
Yeah, something's happening on my end. Things are starting to go out of control a little bit because Isaac Murphy now is supposedly in the lead of the race ahead of yours, and his car was going down the main straight really slowly. Then all of a sudden it just turned around and went straight for pit lane. So
yeah, okay. Brett, maybe you should if you got something to watch the stream on, watch that as well, for reference. But, yeah. I don't know if that's hurt Sebastian. He's still within a second of our leader, but I think he did get some damage. I'll just ride on board with him. I can't see any on his left, so maybe he was very lucky and didn't get any damage. But he was basically nose in the fence up in the casino. So as Alex gets a stop, a 5-second penalty. This what a crazy opening 4 laps of this Monaco
and the
Grand
biggest
Prix.
winner out of all this has been Connor Paisley. He's up to P4, so he's managed to avoid all the carnage that's gone on through. We haven't heard anything so much from apart from the one of our drivers who didn't make the race, which was Stanley Belrose, and Isaac's left the session, so Isaac has disconnected or he's done something, but his car's doesn't look like it's ghosting. Oh no, it is ghosting. The halo is faded, but so
our leader gets very out of shape going on the exit of the Novelle chicane, and Sebastian is right on his gearbox. Brett, I don't know if you're following this battle, but it's heating up. This battle for lead.
Oh, here we go. He's going to go. Oh, Sebastian. Oh, I thought he was going to have a go at Razkaz, but.
Oh, he goes into pit, so it must have been damaged for our leader, or he's just decided those Hypersoft tyres have had enough, and he'll come in and Will he go for, yep, super soft tyre, so we'll be going to the end.
Going for the supers, and there was front wing damage too, so all this has put Melvin up to P2, and Connor's actually in as well, so Connor's serving a 5-second stop go as well. What's happened here?
Look, there was a lot of penalties in that opening lap, Brett. There's probably too many.
I'll tell you what, I'll have a look at the race director and I'll fill you in. So we've had.
I've got a feeling. Toxic Gringo, is his name Alex?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen at least 5 penalties for him already, so he's in real danger of being black flags in this race. So.
The first lap incident was for Josh Banks was. Yeah, Josh Banks corner cutting and gaining a place. Daniel Vale corner cutting in place. Genia Bondarenko ignored yellow flags. And then we've got one here for Toxic Alex O'Connor for a severe collision. So here we go. Here it was. So it was Alex O'Connor involved in that accident with Josh Banks. So he's been given a stop go for a severe collision there.
Yeah.
And then what's happened to Connor Paisley? Why has he had a stop go? We've had Eric Siverston with a stop go for a severe collision with Daniel Vale. Connor Paisley for ignoring yellow flags, as has Billy Booth.
Yellows in sector 2.
And Josh Banks has also had another. Oh no, this is actually interesting. So yeah, so everything's kind of going on around here. So if Sebastian's not too careful, he'll be delivered the undercut by George Vanderbrug, and because George is in complete clean air, he's got no one behind him as well to threaten him. That Oliver Coleman back is about 5 seconds behind him.
Daniel Vale makes a move on, or gets past rather Isaac, who looks like Isaac's car's ghosting. Is he disconnected?
Yeah, Isaac's either disconnected or he's rage quit. I don't know which one it is, but he's definitely.
I didn't see him leave the session or get disconnected, so hopefully he'll be back to take control of that Sauber after a good qualifying from him. Anyway,
actually, I've just heard something here. According to Daniel Vale, his pedals broke. He's actually running on the pad right now because his wheel pedals are broken.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that could have been part of the reason why he retired. He might have didn't think he would be able to qualify any better on the pad, so he's obviously thought, oh well, I'll deal with it. And he, unfortunately, like we predicted, him being caught in a melee with all that incident's been problematic for him.
Oh, Isaac needs an invite back to the lobby, Brett, so could you handle that?
I unfortunately can't because
Okay,
because spectators can't. But
just apologies for our viewers at the moment. I'll just have to invite one of our drivers back. Oh no, he's joined back. It's okay.
Spectators for some reason don't have the ability to actually send invites, which I think is utterly ridiculous. But
still waiting for
obviously
Sebastian to pit. Is he going to dive in? Yes, he's in this lap. So our leader dives in.
And George is coming through the Novel chicane, so... And of course, Sebastian's pit bay is... Although George had to do a front wing change, and so does Sebastian, so... This could be tight.
Oh, he's getting a front wing change, Sebastian.
Actually, I think Sebastian might be okay, because there's quite a bit of traffic going on. Holy crap! There's a good battle here coming on between the top 5. I think Sebastian's safe, so the undercut has not worked for Jaws. But there's quite a battle going on between him, Melvin Stabaka, and Oliver.
Wow,
Coleman,
3 seconds. So Sebastian obviously had the pace.
I think Jaws might have more wing damage again. He does actually. He's lost a bit of his end plate, so he's had another altercation with the wall.
Oh yeah, no front wing. That's going to slow him down big time. So I wonder, Brett,
and that's probably why Oliver's been able to catch him so quickly, because Oliver was about 4 seconds behind about 2 laps ago. So
yeah, he's going to pass him right now, Brett, going into the
he's going to try around the outside. That's a bold move. In fact, he pulled That's a good move there by Melvin Stabaka. Around the outside at Novel Chicane. You don't see that too often.
I wonder now. Wow. Our Toro Rosso driver's all over the joint here. He's gonna definitely have to pit for another front wing. I wonder if he chose the harder option tyre strategy, as he doesn't pit, surprisingly. Okay, so he's just going to soldier on for now. But
well, you kind of have to. I mean, you're on the tyre that can take you to the end of the race, and we just saw Mike get a penalty, but someone else got one right before him.
Oliver in 4th place now.
Oh, Mike's in the fence. He's grabbed the. Oh, don't do that. Well, it's a good thing for Ghostin. That would have been quite a horrific accident with Michael there. He lost the corner coming just outside after the Novel Chicane. Obviously, it just grabbed the fence and it just pivoted him sideways into the wall. And he's going to probably come in. Yes. So, he's grabbed the fence again coming into pit lane.
Alright, we'll go back to the front end. I just as we were watching Big Mike, Oliver's managed to get past the Toro Rosso driver with wing damage. Sorry, what's his name? I keep forgetting.
George van der Brug.
Zors. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, mate. If you watch this back, get an easier name to remember.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they think Matthew or Brett's probably a hard name to pronounce. He's just got a 3-second time penalty too.
This lap, is he? Yeah, he dives into the pits. Our Mr. Vanderbroek or whatever.
just refer to him to his last name, Vanderbroek. It's probably easier that way.
I wonder
I've
if
had
he's
a
gone
few commentating.
Yes. Oh no, he's not gone. So obviously didn't go for the harder selection of tyres. Fitting a new front wing. So ultra soft tyres going on that Toro Rosso.
The ultra should still get into the end.
Still. He'll have to nurse them a bit.
In fact, he might lose a position here to Daniel Vale. In fact, yep. So he's just lost out to Daniel Vale and all that. So that's a lot of time that Jules has lost as a result of hanging in there and trying to. Now we'll just see what kind of pace Melvin has versus Sebastian. This will be an interesting battle here because Melvin looks like he's had showing pretty good pace around here at the moment. So
yeah, he's on the softer of the two options as well. I wonder how long he's been. He's been on those tyres for 3 laps, so possibly might have to pit again.
Yeah, so I'm thinking Melvin's 2-stopping, which is a bit unusual for Monaco standards, but
yeah, Sebastian definitely holds all the cars right now. He's on the better tyres, better strategy. He can go to the end easily. 6.5 second lead. Not really losing any time. In fact, he's holding that gap pretty comfortably, despite being on the harder compound tyres.
So has Isaac been able to get back into his car, or? Yep, he's back in the car, so that's alright. So he's now chasing down. He'll be chasing down George van der Brug to the space of 5 seconds, and George has actually managed to really pull that time back into
we've got a yellow flag.
Daniel Vale. We've got a battle here between Josh Banks, Daniel Vale, and George van der Brug. So a 3-way start position 6, 7, and 8, and Josh looks like he's just.
Oh, as Daniel tries around the outside of.
I can't tell whether Josh is just hanging back trying to create a battle or he's got a genuine issue because he just doesn't look very quick at the moment.
Oh, as Mr. Zandvoort tried to move down into I'm really bad with the Monaco corner names. But
I don't know most of them myself. All I know is the Nouvelle Chicane, Reyes-Caz and Sandervoort and Casino, and Daniel's just getting really impatient on the back of Josh's car. Josh's car just doesn't look balanced enough.
Oh,
and so
Daniel goes for a move on Josh. Oh, there's contact into the Nouvelle Chicane. And they're still too wide. Oh, he's pushed Josh into the fence. Oh, that was...
I think that was a bit of tit for tat. I would say, I would call that tit for tat because Josh didn't give Daniel that much space coming into the Nouvelle Chicane. So Daniel's responded by edging him into the fence.
Josh is out.
He's had enough.
I think that was maybe possibly on purpose, but in the heat of the moment, he's had enough of this race. Daniel...
Oh, and with our championship points leaders in the fence.
Who's that?
And that's at Casino. Matthew Ailey is in the fence at Casino.
Oh, no.
And he's going to have to try and he does realise ghosting's off, so I'm surprised.
Oh, we lost Big Mike too.
Yeah, I noticed that a little bit ago, but I wasn't able to figure out when he did that. So that's unfortunate for Michael as well. So right now, in the state of things, Connor Paisley is going to take a very comfortable race win here if he can stay where he is. As I say that, he's just grabbed the fence at the swimming pool section. That was actually really well timed at my end to catch that. So he's going to lose. Yeah,
Josh's car's still on track. Oh no! Oh
no, that was Connor. So yeah, I was just saying Connor.
No. Okay.
I was giving Connor a good rap, and I've delivered the commentator's curse. So because as I was watching him, he actually just grabbed the inside fence at whatever. I'm trying to think of what that corner name is. I might actually just quickly flick onto Google and just grab the corner name so I can be a bit more informative. So he's coming in now to change his front wing, and he should still be comfortably in the lead of the F3, because Eric, who's in currently P2, is quite a fair way back, actually. I'd be actually curious to see. So positions 9 to 11 are all a lap down, and Melvin is actually making ground on Sebastian too. I've just come to notice that. So Melvin's on the charge, looking to try and get his first win of his career, whereas Sebastian will be looking to try and get career win number 2. So the corner that everyone seems to be having trouble with is Tabac. Actually, I should have known that, but yeah. So Tabac has been catching out a lot of drivers, as has Casino.
Yeah. Look, I'm just about to rewatch that incident with Josh and Daniel through the Nobel chicane. I'm just gonna see if is there stewards. Who's the steward for F3, Brett?
We don't actually presently have one at the moment.
Well, it's us today. So.
And in saying that too, these two drivers aren't actually battling for any supremacy in this championship, so any investigation that kind of goes into that is fruitless unless it's with an F3 driver. So until we start getting more F3 drivers, these sort of accidents are going to kind of get disregarded, but it doesn't hurt to have a look. And
yeah, look, to me, Brett, that's yeah, look, it's
Daniel,
always difficult.
From what I can see, Daniel's kind of hit the fence. Daniel's kind of hit the inside fence, and it's actually kind of bounced him into Josh a little bit, but at the same time, Josh didn't give him a high load of space coming out of the corner either, so
okay,
I think
so
Daniel's kind of
entering the corner, there's probably a car width between them, and then Daniel's actually locked up to make the corner. Josh has had to turn in. There's contact, which pushes Daniel slightly wide. I don't think there's any damage done at that stage. Josh leaves plenty of room for Daniel on the exit, and then Daniel, look, I hate to say it, but Daniel's driven Josh straight into the barrier there, and I think that's going to be
the way I see it. If you look quite carefully, you can see at the inner wall where it steps out when you head towards that straight. It looks like Daniel does actually grab the fence there, and it does bounce him a little bit. So if you just position the car there,
I can't catch it. But I wonder if either of those drivers had a stream. But from the broadcast, what we caught on the broadcast, it looked like, and maybe some of our viewers could re-watch the incident and see what they think in the comments. But it looked from our broadcast as though it was all clean until the exit, and then I don't know.
Something's gone wrong, and
Daniel either grabbed a bit of wall, which put him into Josh, and drove him into the wall, or Daniel's just, I don't know. To me, it looks like Daniel's just driven Josh straight into the barrier. Anyway, we have of our 16 drivers in this race, we have 11 remaining. Sebastian Spicer leads the way, followed by Melvin and Billy Booth, and then our I'm just going to call him Fred in the Toro Rosso because I can never remember his name. So we got Fred in 4th place, and then Oliver, F2 driver with a solid drive, in 5th place, Daniel Valle, F1 driver in 6th place. Connor Paisley in 7th. Isaac Murphy, 8th place. Mr. Koala Bear in 9th. Matthew
Isaac
Klingberg.
spun it. Isaac's hit the last corner and he's spun it.
Oh dear. Okay. No.
So,
He's not ghosting. So I believe that was Chania. Okay.
Vanderbrug just about clipped him. Oh no, actually no, that was Elliot. Sorry. Could this bring out a safety car though? I mean, no, I guess not. Safety cars seem to be very scarce in this, but Connor just missing the hairpin a little bit.
I think we've just come to expect, Brett, that even for massive pile-ups, the safety car is just non-existent, even around Monaco.
Well, exactly, and that baffles me. Like that crash, coming through towards Tibet is definitely one of the biggest crashes I've seen in all my years of commentating and playing F1 games in a somewhat clean racing environment. You know, you see this kind of stuff in online public lobbies all the time, but you don't really see it in competitive racing. And I actually think that Alex O'Connor, and of course he's been in a bit of trouble over the last couple of race meetings with the stewards panel. Looks like he was the one who might have actually instigated that incident with Josh Banks that's caused that almighty pile-up. So it'd be worth... I think Daniel Vale does run a stream of his own perspective, so he was in amongst that. So if he could provide us with some footage of that incident, that would be quite interesting. I don't think there'll be anything towards it, like again, because as I say, these guys only race for sheep stations. They don't race for points, unlike positions right now 7, 9, 10, 11, and then of course Mike and Ludwig in 13th and 15th. The incidents that happen in these races with these drivers just kind of... and Ellie's done it again, a casino.
We have a battle for third between Fred and Billy Booth. I think Fred's got past Billy.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, because Billy was in position 3, so George is definitely making a stable movement. Now, yeah, I'm just a bit mystified about
is Daniel
what it is with
the fastest lap on the Hypersoft tyres, 1:12.1, not bad race pace.
That could be almost a race lap record, actually. I think I'd have to look into that compared to last year's race in any of the categories, unless Noah Weck, of course, destroyed
it. As Matthew gets out of the way of Fred just hit the wall. Where was that? That was
at swimming pool.
That was at Tabac at turn 12.
So also don't forget people watching that aren't racing as well to vote for your driver of the day today. Personally, I think at the moment Connor Paisley has definitely made up some ground from the start.
Just to clarify, driver of the day should be amongst the F3 drivers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's...
But I mean, if we had an overall driver of the day, it would be definitely Sebastian Spicer, because he's just...
Yeah, clearly.
He's showing... someone's actually gone off sector 1. I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to see. Nope, nothing I can see.
I think it was someone getting out of the way for Isaac, actually.
Yeah, it could have been, actually. It might have been someone that's coming down there. Genia Bondarenko would have been. Now, of all the drivers so far, so Genia's been on the Ultra Softs for 14 laps. So he came in on lap 6 to pit for Ultra Softs as he goes a bit wide and collects the wall coming out of the hairpin. He and the championship points leader of Matthew Elliott are now both 2 laps down. So, what? That was interesting. Must have been a lag or something. So, Sebastian's now just put a lap on Connor Paisley, so that's up to position 7 now, a lap down. Daniel Vale is roughly not that far away either, so our championship contender in the F1 could be put a lap down in an F3 race. That's not something you'd hear that often.
Yeah. very well, you got to say dominant from Sebastian so far. Like he's looked the man even from the start. He was all over Fred, who had the early start, and then who had to make an early pit stop, and then he basically overcut him significantly. And he's just kept it clean since then. So pretty ominous for the F2 category tomorrow. Seb looking very, very strong, and I myself racing that category. Yeah,
Well, we
hope I can
both
make it
are,
a race
so.
with him. To be honest, for those tuning in.
I just hope I don't have the same race I had in Spain, so...
Oh, Brett, of course, racing tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so Monaco's not one of my favourite tracks, so I don't think I'll be too quick in qualifying as long as I can keep it out of the fence, and hopefully we don't have something like this tomorrow. I think we'll be good as gold, but you know...
it is about survival though, Brett, isn't it? Like a certain degree, like...
Well, you and I have a present example of it from last season when we were racing in F1, when you and I had that battle near the end. But, you know, it's all about position more than anything. So, got an incident in Sector 2, nothing... Oh, it's one of the... Actually, no, I don't know what it is. But anyway, doesn't... Oh, and actually, it's one of the Mercedes of Eric Silverstone has either gotten out of the way or has had a huge moment through the... Oh, he's grabbed the fence coming into the back as well, so he's obviously sporting some damage. But since we don't have so much as a battle, we can talk a little bit about what's been going on in the actual F1 world. So one of the biggest news stories that's come to light this week has been Robert Kubica making his F1 return next year to Williams. So what's your views on that? Oh, have we got a...
Oh, mate, I think it's fantastic. I mean, like a lot of people... I mean, coming back from that crash at Canada all those years ago, like, he wasn't expected to, like, it was basically nearly a life-ending accident, and no one expected him to ever, like, race again, let alone come back, make it this far all the way back to Formula One, and I just think it's a great story for the sport, and, like, one of those... a real feel-good moment. I think you'll see on the grid next year a lot of support
It is a little unfortunate that he's in a team that's not performing at the top of its game anymore. So, unfortunately for Robert, he's going to probably have a bit of... He won't exactly have a baptism fire that he did when he was partnered with Nick Heidfeld at... I'm sure he'll definitely wrangle.
Yeah, I love it, Brett. I think it's fantastic. And George Russell as well in that team. I just hope they have a better car. Like, obviously, the last few years have been pretty diabolical for them. This year in particular, they were basically nowhere. So yeah, the team itself have a lot of work to do. Oh, as actually we've lost Brett from the broadcast, so hopefully he can join again. But I'll just go solo for now, I guess. Been riding on board with Sebastian for quite a while, our race leader. We haven't really got any battles going on. Oh, has actually some... Oh, we got someone pitting. That's why he's dropping down the field. I was going to say someone... Melvin, I think it is, crashed out, but no, he was just pitting. So onto the ultra soft tyres to the end. Melvin, he's lost, what's that, 4 positions? Sorry, 3 positions. He was 3rd, I believe. So I might just see if I can invite Brett quickly back to the session. So let's see what we can do here. Well, race director, preferences. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Just having some technical difficulties, losing my co-commentator Brett Keenan. just trying to see if I could invite him back into the session, but I don't have the option to do that, unfortunately. So hopefully Brett can join on the session and come back into the commentary. As we see, a couple of road tyres on the track at the top of the hill there. So not quite sure what happened there. As I think we've lost a driver recently. Yeah, Jenny Bond has dropped out of the race. So just the 10 runners now from this 16 driver field. It really is has a high attrition rate. This track, it's treacherous. So 25 laps into this 39 lap race, Sebastian Spicer still holds the lead, a commanding lead at that. 25-second gap back to Fred, our
my apologies,
here we go.
My modem crashed, so...
Okay, well, that's, maybe you should just get better internet and shit like that, mate, so...
Well, it's not my fault my country can't fucking sort its fibre
Ladies and gentlemen,
out, so...
I give you New Zealand, where the internet is terrible.
Oh, sod off. Who's winning the Supercar Championship? Remember that.
Yeah, look, we're not here for that, Brett. We're here for the TNF3.
Although,
and while you were gone, we lost Jenny Bond, so we're just down to the 10 runners.
Oh shit, we have two. And it doesn't look like much has changed in the way of positionings either.
And we've had Melvin Pitt from P3, so he's done his
that much
stop.
I saw before I got disconnected, so... That was interesting. He did grab the wall a couple of times on the shots that I did see, so I think he must have put in for a new front wing.
Can you turn your microphone back up too, please?
Yeah, 1 second.
If it isn't already. No, what do we got? Oh, we actually have a battle for 4th place now with Oliver currently holding the position and Daniel's caught right back up to the back of him. So I wonder if something's happened to Oliver, and Daniel is right on the back of him as he goes for a move on the straight, and Oliver squeezes him in. There's contact.
Daniel. And he's got wing damage. Oliver's got wing damage, and he's given the position up. And Melvin's thought of this as an incentive too. So Melvin's not too far from this battle, but yeah, Oliver was a bit cheeky. So Daniel kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to take this position, I'm going to force you into a mistake, and that's exactly what Oliver did, so...
And that's
good racing between the two.
That's dropped him into the clutches of Melvin as well, so... Obviously, with wing damage, well, how long we got left? 12 laps. It's probably worth his while to pit again, but knowing Melvin... Melvin's all over the place through the tunnel, trying to get a run on him. He's hit the wall a couple of times now, into the chicane. So we're just right on board with Melvin, seeing if he can get a move done on Connor, who's going to be very slow through the swimming pool section because of that damage.
I'm just having a look at the fastest laps of the whole race at the moment, and Sebastian.
Connor's put it in the fence at
Razkaz,
and he's gonna have to pit. Yeah, so that's a diabolical couple of laps for Oliver.
Yeah, so of the top 5 currently in the field of the fastest laps, other than Bouger, who's done a 14.5, Sebastian is actually one of the slowest drivers of the top 5. But I suppose with all the gap that he's got at the moment, he's just been able to cruise to a number and not have to worry about punching out fastest laps of the race. So
exactly,
yeah, quite interesting that he's not one of the fastest cars on the track. So
also got to take
Oliver's
those
come in now.
End, so yeah, there's no point in pushing hard.
So
They've got
just
some
looking...
pretty big gaps now. I guess our smallest gap at the moment would be between Daniel and Melvin, P4 and 5, the two F1 drivers. So I wonder if Melvin can...
well, he's got fresher tyres by about 8 laps.
Tires,
so
yeah, I was just about to say. So 8 lap fresher ultra softs, both running the ultra soft tyres. So the longer this race goes on, the better, or the quicker that Melvin should be over Daniel.
and
that
the
gap at
funny
the
thing
moment
about
is
it, and
4.5 seconds, and I think
the funny
Daniel's
thing about it
actually
too is that
extending.
Monaco, it's a short track, but 39 laps, it just feels like an eternity.
It does, yeah. It's a long race, as we still have those ghosting front tyres at the top of the hill there at Casino, or Massenet rather. I don't know if you can see those, Brett, but every time we follow a driver up the hill into Massenet, there's a couple of tyres just lying on
Yeah.
on the
We
road.
had I had this glitch in it was either Malaysia or China last season where after a pit stop you could see the tyres just get up and then walk back into the pit lane. There was no driver holding the wheel, so you could only see the four tyres get up and like hover up and then float into the pit garage. So there's still a few little graphical things that Codemasters obviously aren't too phased about, as
Yeah,
Daniel
we haven't
Vale
had
just manages around.
We haven't had a patch or game update in quite a while now, so you've got to be wondering what's going on at Codemasters. Whether they've thought,
I'd say they've always had this kind of period where they kind of take a break for the Christmas period.
The esports series has just finished, of course, earlier this week, with Brendan Lee taking out his the second of his championships in a row. That man is just
don't get me started on that. Honestly, I mean,
unstoppable. But
we've got so many drivers here that could have. Oh, sorry, I just saw Matthew Ayler grab the fence before the hairpin. But yeah, we've got so many drivers here that, given the opportunity, could have probably knocked Brendan Lee off the pedestal. But unfortunately, because of the ping and the internet providers for pretty much Oceania and the US, we don't get a shot to drive for the esports series, which is absolutely disappointing. We do have there is an intercontinental esports championship in Supercar Land, but unfortunately that's on Xbox with Forza Motorsport.
Fred ran terribly wide through Massenet and clipped the wall. Sorry, Fred, mate, I'm just going to go. Like, that is actually your name now. You should apply to get your name changed and get a new birth certificate, because whatever your name is, it is too difficult to remember, so it's just got to be Fred.
Oh, you're a lunatic,
I
mate.
could go with Slossie because it's on screen. I can also... Let's just go with Slossie.
Well, you could just call him Slossie Vanderbrug or something
Fred,
like that.
Second name, Slossie. Fred Slossie, there we go.
You're a maniac. Anyway, so that battle between Melvin and Daniel is kind of shifting around a bit in a way, but at the same time, Daniel is actually catching Billy Booth quite rapidly too.
Oh,
so
isn't he? Yeah. We could have a battle for the final podium place, still with 8 laps remaining. Yeah, I'm 22
and that'd be quite a good story for
Super
Daniel, given the adversity of his qualifying, his broken pedal.
Well,
He's probably
Brett,
still using the pad.
There's also the incident with Josh to consider. I mean, I know these guys aren't racing for points or whatever, but like, normally you'd have to say, if this was a competitive race, that Daniel would be looking at probably a hefty penalty on top of his race time today because of that incident. So,
well, there's definitely going to be there would definitely be a lot to look at, and I'm hoping that we can see different perspectives of certain incidences. I think that was Sebastian. Sebastian had a huge mistake in the
no wing damage,
Novell
so
chicane.
okay.
I think he's actually grabbed the fence.
Well, I can't see any damage, but
Well, it's either him. It was definitely a white car.
he's got a car
and it
all
wasn't
over
Isaac.
him.
Because
Oh, who's that? I think that's Matthew Klunberg in the Red Bull. He's all over back to Sebastian, trying to unlap himself, but
no, it's Oliver Coleman.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, oh, sorry, Oliver. Yeah, Matthew's in the other Toro Rosso, my mistake.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw a Sauber, I'm sure it was a Sauber, going through the Novell chicane and had to go straight line it because it clipped the inside wall, and I'm sure it was Sebastian because Isaac was nowhere near the Novell chicane at the time. In fact, and speaking of Isaac, he's just gone at to back as well, so it's been a pretty bad race for Isaac, as he now gives up the position to Melvin, who's still chasing down Daniel, but he's lost a lot of time. And that gap between Billy and Melvin is now 1 second. And yeah, look at that. Sebastian has made a mistake because he's lost. Oh, What's going on here? These guys are having a real ding-dong battle.
Oh.
And Sebastian's actually got a lot of front wing damage.
He must have it on his right hand side because riding on board, or he's corner cutted there.
I don't think he'll be too thrilled that Oliver's trying to unlap himself, but of course
I think
rules.
just let him go, Brett.
Yeah,
honestly,
he should, because I mean it's kind of like the Ocon Verstappen situation.
Exactly.
It's like it's gonna end in tears if Sebastian doesn't give it up and just let Oliver run his own races. But at the same time, Oliver's not in a position to really mount a challenge to anyone else, so he doesn't need to be so overly aggressive to make a move to unlap himself. But as he's through all this, look how much time Sebastian's lost because of that damage.
Yeah, true.
So George is starting to close him in pretty rapidly, and the battle between Billy and Daniel has now gotten into DRS range. So
isn't it? It's very close. All right, we might have to follow this battle as we'll just keep an eye on that gap at the top between Sebastian and Fred. See if Fred can make inroads on that. But we'll just follow Billy and Daniel for now.
What I'm going to do is ride on board with Daniel and watch the different driving lines. So, heading up towards Massenet, Billy takes a wide approach, whereas Daniel goes really shallow and takes a better entry. Oh, he's got... no, Daniel's grabbed the fence at
Isaac's
Casino.
Out. Isaac's crashed out.
You're a few laps behind on that one.
Oh, am I? Sorry.
Yeah, he crashed about a couple of laps ago.
That means the broadcast is, so apologies for that, everyone watching.
Yeah, I noticed it a minute ago, but I didn't see where he had crashed. I think he might have just pulled the car over. I think he had enough of spinning all the time now. So Daniel has grabbed the fence at Casino and broken a bit of his front wing, so that might have halted the charge a little bit. But he's still staying with him. But yeah, the driving lines are really different. In fact, this could play into Melvin's hands a little bit. 9.6 seconds, the top gap, it's dropping. Now, if George had been told that Sebastian's got front wing damage, in fact, as I say that, Sebastian has actually let Oliver through, so he's decided that he's obviously holding Oliver up and he doesn't want to be in a bit bad position. That could be where a lot of the time has gone.
Yeah. Just 5 laps left. I don't think our mate Fred is going to catch Sebastian. I think Sebastian, unless he's has another.
Well, Sebastian is hitting the wall a lot more.
As well, Sebastian. So
I don't know how many.
Or maybe it was only 3, but yeah, the gap down to 8.4 seconds now, and looks like Billy's actually pretty comfortable in front of Daniel.
Yeah, because Daniel's got front wing damage as well, so he's got to try and manage that. So, and Melvin's coming into range of that battle too, so because of the front wing damage. So Billy will be holding up Daniel. Daniel's got front wing damage, so he can't actually really do anything about it. And so Billy's basically backing Daniel into Melvin with and then Oliver's too far back to mount anything. Connor is going to take his first win of his career in F3 with position 7. And Matthew Ayler will extend his championship points lead.
So,
by,
am I correct in saying that positions 7, 8, and 9 is the
all
F3
F3 positioning? Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
So, there's your top 3. So, position 7, 8, and 9 for people watching are your F3 podium at the moment. Now, if you were to go to F2 basis, your F2 podium would be Sebastian, Billy Booth, then Oliver Coleman, and then your F1 podium would be George van der Brug from Daniel Vale and Melvin Stulbacher. Of course, they're the only 3 in F1 in the race. So the gap has actually dropped back to... Oh, and George is getting a bit ragged. That's why the gap's actually started to go out again. In fact, I would... Actually, yeah, because the look at the lap difference. I think George's ultras are a bit second-hand right now.
Yeah. Do you think Melvin might be able to catch Daniel here?
Well, he's dropped the gap from 3 to 1.5, so he's dropped half the time in the space of a lap and a half. So I'd say
it's
you get him.
A second now, Brett. It's down to 4 tenths.
But
2 tenths.
Catching someone is one thing, overtaking them is another.
Okay, well, this could be the battle. Well, the last. Oh, Daniel
Oh!
trips the wall in the exit, on the corner. slows both
And
of them down.
and Melvin lost a lot of ground because he actually wasn't sure how to approach it. Whether he should have put the foot down and made the move or back off, and he chose to back off. So, and look
As
at the
we
gap
head up the
difference
hill
because
towards Matinee. Oh, I think that was just a bit of
well,
lag.
you can make a move here. Oh, Melvin! Oh, he's done it! What a move!
Yeah, there was contact as well, Brett. But yeah, Daniel running very wide through Matinee, and Melvin just kept that tight line on the racing line and squeezed through. But there was contact, so.
Oh, that's what I call opportunities at its finest. Melvin just saw that Daniels had no room left to go, and so he thought, I'll throw a biscuit in here and give it a go and see what happens. He won't. I don't think he'll catch Billy in the space of the 2 laps. He'll give it a go, no doubt. But
that gap. He is quicker.
But at the moment, the gap out the front has extended back out to 12 seconds. So Sebastian's obviously now that he's not got
on those ultra soft tyres. They're 27 laps old, so it's got to be getting bloody. They got to be getting a bit how you going and complaining.
Well, let's have a look on board and see if we can see any telltale signs of the tyre. Oh yeah, they look really second-hand actually. Now someone's had a moment in sector 3. Daniel's actually coming in, and I know what that is.
Set the fastest lap. Well, yeah, yep, a 25-second gap on Oliver. So yeah, nothing to.
Yeah, he'll do a front wing change too. So Oliver will actually take this position. So there's no denying that. And Connor is way too far back to be in a position. So Oliver will take position 5. Daniel is definitely out there to go for the fastest lap. So. Good drive here too by Eric Siverston. He's currently P9, qualified at near the back.
Ooh, and Melvin's just a second back from Billy now.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he's managed to pull it in, but he only had one more lap to.
Rapidly, Brett. Absolutely rapidly.
I don't think Billy has any front wing damage, so I'm thinking Billy. I think Billy's either. Well, Billy's tyres are actually really second hand compared to Melvin's. In fact, you can just see it because Melvin's just able to use the traction so much better.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
run through onto the pit straight with DRS.
Well, Daniel wasn't as aggressive on Billy in this, but look at that! Look at that straight line.
He's going to have the run into turn 1. Oh, it's contact! Oh, he's put him into the wall. And he's let him go. Billy's let him go up the straight.
Yeah, Billy's felt like that was his fault, and he's redressed. So he's given Melvin the position because he's felt like he's been at fault for that incident. So good sportsmanship there. Yeah, and I think Daniel's attempt at the fastest lap is not going to happen because look who he's ended up being stuck behind.
Oh, Sebastian.
So unless Daniel uses
this is the final lap, ladies
Sebastian.
And gentlemen. We're on to the final lap of this 39 lap. Absolute epic Monaco Grand Prix for the TNF3 category.
Well, pardon my French, let's just call it an absolute clusterfuck, but it's been...
But it's been a masterclass from Sebastian. Oh, except for maybe his incident where he got damaged, but, you know, he's still run a very good race. And
it's without a doubt definitely one of the top class drivers for the day. And, you know, he handled the threat from behind. He's countered the threat from behind. He's probably going to get a bit sweaty with Daniel right up behind him because Daniel's obviously going for the fastest lap. In fact, Daniel's actually given it up completely. So no fastest lap for Daniel.
Someone cut the corner massively then? Did I see that?
Yeah, that was Daniel. Okay. Daniel just didn't take the corner. I think he thought he might have drilled the rear of Sebastian. So either way... Sebastian Spice is coming through the last few corners for the last time, and it will be career win number 2 for Sebastian as he crosses the line to take out the on track.
5 seconds.
Oh, right, and he gets a 5-second stop go for not serving. Well, 5-second penalty for not serving as stop go, which won't.
Followed by Fred Slossie, aka Brett.
George van der Brug. Actually, all the penalties must have balanced out because the position at the end didn't actually change too much.
Yeah, I think actually Sebastian gained time. Actually,
no, I think he lost a second from the whole thing. And Connor Paisley
Oh, what is Connor doing?
Connor Paisley just got somewhat escorted into the fence by Melvin as he crosses the line in for third. And Connor Paisley will take out the F3 race for the weekend. So congratulations to Connor Paisley, your F3 race winner.
Oh, and Melvin
Boozer
does finish a bit above Billy in third.
Yeah, because Billy had a 5-second unserved stop go, so...
Oh, okay. So, bit of a change there on the finish line.
Actually, Daniel must have, That's interesting, because... Oh no, Daniel didn't get to do it, so Daniel still got the fastest lap irrespective of that. He just didn't get to set the lap record, so...
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That has been the Monaco Grand Prix Round 4 of the TNF3 Championship. We had very, very chaotic race. Of our 16 runners, we had only 9 finishes, I believe. So, high attrition rate today. But congratulations to Sebastian for the race victory and to Connor Paisley for his TNF3 category race win as well.
And definitely special mention to our top 3 in the F3 positions, 7, 8 and 9. Unfortunately for Eric, last of the runners, 4 laps down, but still a good result. And for Matthew Alia, of course, it's a championship points lead extension, so he'll go to Canada with quite a hefty lead in the championship and could possibly take out the F3 championship this season. He's shown a bit of ill management in his own ways by saying he feels like he's not competitive enough, but when you're leading the championship, you're still doing quite well for yourself. So Matt, I think
it's hard to remember that you're only competing with other F3 drivers when there's, I guess, invitational drivers from the F1 and F2 categories that constantly get the F3 win. We've only had one F3 driver win an F3 race, which was Ludwig in France. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Monaco Grand Prix. So thanks for joining the live stream wherever you are in the world, and we hope you join us again tomorrow for...
And also, just before we close off, we'll make a special announcement that come tomorrow, F1 and F2 will also be starting live streaming as well. So tune in 8 o'clock New Zealand Standard Time, UTC plus 12, for coverage of the F1 live stream, commentated by myself, and then the F2 category, which will be broadcast at 11 AM UTC plus 12, live, with commentator Mackenzie Stewart, and then most likely Alex Little or Mason Ward. We know that Guy Tasker won't be there for this weekend. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again tomorrow for when the F1 and F2 drivers go completely ballistic at Monaco.
Keep it clean, guys. Alright, catch you later.